Hello and welcome back to the podcast that also has its own list of people, so watch out. Welcome back to another episode of the Love, Death and Movies podcast, Internet's number one film breakdown and review show, the show that crushes watch lists month after month, I guess. Every couple of months is a different genre, every week in those couple of months is a different film in that genre, so follow us and everything just to the right and most watch some movies. Each and every week, joining me, Ash First Movies. Ash, how are you in the last couple of minutes?
Doing good. Working up an appetite, talking about movies, and just gonna, happy to be here and then enjoy my Friday night with some pizza.
Yeah, so let's rank pizza real quick. Number one, I think we can all agree. I think one and two should be synonymous of it can intertwine at whatever your taste is, but pepperoni and cheese should be the number one and two. What do you think about the people that like overload pizza?
Wait, so you're saying cheese pizza is number two?
Should be. Like I think so. Like I think you should be able to judge a place just on how they make a standard cheese pizza.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ordered cheese pizza since I was like a kid.
Interesting.
It's pepperoni for me, and then it actually dives into totally non-red sauce pizza after that. It would go to like chicken barbecue or
Oh
like a
yeah.
chicken buffalo or something in that realm for me. And then after that would probably be like maybe cheese, but then I'd still want like some topping, like
You know something?
sausage or
Interesting.
something.
Yeah, we got peri peri chicken in Australia. That's awesome. It's got like that's nice spicy chicken, and then like peri
Nice.
peri sauce glaze, little drizzle on the top. It's, so good. But yeah, pepperoni stands tall though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way because we're continuing on the Book of Spielberg, the second last film in the book, which is, of course, Munich. So, quick synopsis. After the Black September capture and massacre of Israeli athletes at the 1972 Olympics, five men are chosen to eliminate the people responsible for that fateful day. Won't really go into how your week's been going, Ash, because peek behind the curtain, we've bulk recording this. So if you want to know how Ash's week was, just re-listen to the first 10 minutes of the previous podcast. Ash,
Okay.
is this your first time watching Munich? Mm-hmm. What do you think of Munich?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really read anything about this movie, so I didn't know what I was getting into. All I saw was that like backdrop on Letterboxd of all the guys kind of in the street together, and I just was like, "Oh, is this sort of like a action drama with like I didn't know what it was. I guess I didn't read the description either, so that's my bad. I just knew that it was a film of Spielberg's I hadn't seen before, so I wanted to watch it.
I think it's totally fun to go into a movie not knowing what it's about.
Yeah, it sometimes can help provide like context, I guess, if you kind of just know what you're getting into. But
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I obviously knew nothing about this real life event, had no knowledge of any of this. It was definitely not around in the 70s. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a very intense film. It was much like bloodier and more violent than I was expecting.
Big time.
Definitely more so than I guess what I'm used to with Spielberg. Obviously, he's done like the creature feature in that way, but not a film like this. I thought some of the performances were really good. I did like, some of the dynamics between all the guys once they kind of get together, like Eric Bana and Daniel Craig and those guys. I did like their little like personalities and how they sort of blended together and how they worked through their like strategy with their operation. But overall, not like a film that's really made for me. Not something that I'll ever watch again. Not something that I loved, but I liked aspects of it. I thought there were some good acting performances and some really cool, like, I guess, direction that Spielberg did there. But a little intense on the subject matter and just a little like more violent than I would prefer for the type of film that it was. But I mean, I'm glad I checked it off. I think it was obviously like interesting to learn about this real life event. Could have done without the last 15 minutes of the movie. Just could have just nixed all that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was too long. And I'm not against a long movie, but this one overstayed its welcome for sure.
Yeah,
It was
length of
definitely too long.
films, like, I'm with you. I don't mind a long film, but it needs to justify the ending.
Yeah.
Justify the length, I mean. And I agree with you. I think this is a bit too long. And it's just long in the tooth. There's a bunch of this film that I love. The cast is great. Shout out to Kieran Hines. I think he's the best person in this film. I think he's amazing. You touched on it, but like some of the direction points of like just some of the way that some of these scenes are shot. Like the telephone scene of the bomb in the telephone is a great scene.
Absolutely.
Super tense and everything like that. I do love how the movie is told just through like it's like missions. It's like you at the end of this film, you kind of like think back of it as if you're reading a document of like a mission report of just like how seamlessly it's just like, okay, we've done this one, on to the next one, on to the next
Yeah,
one,
like
on
the
to the next one.
structure of it
Yeah, the
definitely
structure
plays out that way.
for sure, and I really like that. I agree with you. It's too long in the tooth. It's very intense, which like it has to be with the subject matter,
Of course.
but it's still very intense. It's not a good or bad thing, but it does overstay its welcome, and yeah, I think it just doesn't fully grip me in the second half. Like the first half, I was kind of all in when they started it, but then it became a bit too repetitive. Of like, all right, go to this other place, plant a bomb, wait for it to explode. Go to this other place, plant a
Yep.
bomb, wait for it to explode.
Absolutely agree with you. I
So
think the first hour was
awesome, yeah,
awesome. I was sat and then it lost the plot. It meandered too much.
big time, big time. But I just still I enjoyed it. Just we'll find out what my score is at the end. Budget of 70 million, box office of 130.9 million. It's not an extraordinary return, but still profitable. I guess that's what you take. Which you look back at this cast. I love Eric Bana. He's Australian, so I love Eric Bana.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure Eric Bana is Australian.
I had no clue.
Eric Bana. Am I talking
I
out my
genuinely
ass?
don't have a lot of like
Yeah,
Eric Bana
Australian.
in my
Yeah,
bag.
he lives in Melbourne at the moment,
Okay.
and he's a big supporter of the St Kilda Football Club, who haven't won much in many years, many years. Sorry, Saints fans. But let's begin, Ash. Unless you have anything else to add.
No, let's begin.
The film begins with a depiction of the events of the 1972 Munich Olympics. Before we fully get into this, this movie is, 2 hours, 40 odd minutes. Because of how quick and like simple it all is, there's not that much in terms of notes that I'm going to go through. So this will probably, even though it's an almost 3 hour movie, this is going to be a short podcast, which is okay.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of names that I'm just going to have to wing with these, okay? Just letting you know, we're going to get through it together. There's a lot of names that I'm like, looking at them written down now, that I'm like, oh, this is going to be tough. So the film begins with a depiction of the events of the 1972 Munich Olympics, which is truly horrifying. After the killings, the Israeli government devises an eye for an eye retaliation, and a target list of 11 names is drawn up. Avner Kaufman, which is played by Eric Bana, is an Israeli-born Mossad agent of German Hebrew descent and is chosen to lead the assassination squad and is given the assignment over tea at the home of the Prime Minister of Israel, Golda Meir, to give the Israeli government plausible deniability and at the direction of his handler, Ephraim, which is played by Jeffrey Rush, which is such a weird inclusion. I like Jeffrey Rush as an actor. Apparently he's a weird dude, though. Avner resigns from Mossad, and the squad operates with no official ties to Israel. Avner is given a team of 4 Hebrew men, which is Steve, played by Daniel Craig, a South African driver, Hans, a document forger, Robert, a Belgian toy maker trained in diffusing explosives, and Carl, played by my Kieran Hines. I love Kieran Hines so much. A former Israeli soldier who cleans up after assassinations. Abner and his team set about tracking down the 11 targets with the help of a shadowy French informant, which is known as Louis, played by the bad guy out of Quantum of Solace. That's what I got in my notes. That's the bad dude. Anyway,
Is that the one that Daniel Craig is in?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of, I didn't even picture it like they're both in movies together. That's funny. In Rome, the group tracks down their first target, Abdul Wal Zakweti, who is broke and living as a poet. The group follow him to his apartment building, and Avner and Robert shoot him dead. In Paris, Robert pretends to be a journalist interviewing their second target, Mohammed Hamshiri, about the Munich massacre. He plants a bomb in Hamshiri's phone that is set to be detonated by a remote key. Carl is to dial Hamshiri's number from a public telephone booth after Hamshiri's wife and daughter have left. However, while a large truck obscures their view, the daughter runs back inside to retrieve something. Carl calls the number and the girl picks up, but Avner aborts the mission before Robert, who cannot see what is going on, triggers the explosion. When the girl leaves, Carl telephones the number, asks a man who answers if he is Hampshire, and upon affirmation of his name, Robert detonates the bomb. In Cyprus, the team kills the next target, Hussein al-Bashir, by planting a bomb in his hotel room beneath the bed. I think this is a brutal one. Avner gets a room next to al-Bashir and turns off his bedroom light to signal to proceed. When Robert detonates the bomb, the explosive almost kills Avner and injures a newlywed couple next door. The group meet later aboard a boat in Cyprus, in the Cyprus harbour, to discuss the errors of the mission. Robert insists that the explosives he used are far more powerful than what he expected. It is revealed at this juncture that Louis provided the explosives, but he's also helping with the logistics of the hits through Avner. So I know a lot. I just went through heaps of the film at once, but it's just as I said, it's like a mission document where it's just like chapter, bam, 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 going through it. But what's your thoughts at the beginning of this film in terms of like how they showed what happened at the Munich Olympics, but specifically as well how they the execution of Hampshire with the phone? I think that's the
Yeah.
most telling, no, the most like powerful of the scenes, most well done of the scenes. I think that when the daughter picks up and that look of Kieran Hines and he starts sprinting back to try and get to the car, I think that scene's awesome.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, the actual initial, like what happened, the Black September, the Olympic thing, I mean, it's awful. I knew as soon as they helped them over that fence, I was like, oh, that was a horrible idea.
Yes.
Like, that is such an easy way to get yourself into that situation, I feel like. But, I mean, it was just, I don't know. I feel like it was a time when there would have just been more trust amongst people, just in general. So, yeah, that was all pretty like awful to watch. And then yeah, I think once it kind of got into Eric Bana and like his wife, which you probably shouldn't leave your 7-month pregnant wife to go do this mission, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, I think once the guys get together, like I said, is kind of where I was like, okay, I'm sat, like I'm interested in what's kind of happening here.
They
I
had that
think
like
this is
lunch table scene, which is
yeah,
really
like how
good.
he's making them food, and it's just like these
Yep.
guys who all have this different background, kind of, expressing like what their role is. And I thought it was going to kind of be like a buddy film in that sense, like more like in the Oceans kind of way, where it's like a group and it's like more actiony. Obviously, this isn't a
Have you
much
seen
different
Oceans
thing because
yet?
it's a real life event, but
Have you seen Oceans yet?
not since we spoke 6 days ago. No,
Well, you had 6 days.
I've been
So,
watching Munich, which is 3 hours long,
which,
and
which is
ET.
like a 17-day task. Yeah, fair enough. But watch Oceans, please.
I will, I will. But I
I just,
thought, yeah,
I'm
I was
only
like,
asking because I know you would love it. That's why.
I'm sure I will, and I have seen like scenes here and there. But yes, I felt like it had this like
You're correct. Yeah.
dynamic, and I was liking the way those scenes were shot and how they played out, and I liked how they navigated some of the initial missions. I thought it was very like well shot as far as like how they showed them all in different spots on the street corners and then in the car and under disguise. I love all of Eric Bana's disguises
Oh, Eric
and
Bana's disguise is
costumes.
so good. Yeah.
That I loved all
Big
that,
fan of
and yeah,
Eric,
I do
man.
think you're right. I think that the character of Carl is probably the best out of all of them. His demeanor, his look, his just the what he's capable of doing, like being like kind of like the cleanup crew, and just
Yep.
you can just tell he's done some shit in his time. So yeah, I thought that you're right. The whole one with the phone and the daughter, that was probably the best one as far as the way that they ended up going about
Yep.
shooting the scene and directing the scene and the acting and just how intense it was, not knowing if she was gonna answer, get out of there. Like I literally
So
was
good.
sitting on my couch just like no, 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 no. Like when I saw her answer the phone, it was like this cannot possibly happen that way. So that was probably the most tense moment. And then I felt like the rest of the movie was trying to like
Get back there.
get back to that kind of tenseness that I felt, and it never did. And then it got lost. I think that's
Yep.
kind of where like the downfall started for me. The hotel one with the bed was also a little bit more tense, but not in the same way for me. I don't know if it's because the child involvement made it like
The
there was
hotel
more at
bed.
stake.
The one with the newlyweds on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more. I like that because he built a connection. Like we just like that small conversation with the guy, and you could see he's like double thinking it, and that's why before he turns off the light, he's just like, just turning off the light's going to kill this man.
Well, and I felt like he also was not just thinking that, but also maybe starting to think, like, was I wrong? Am I going to be impacted by this? Is that other couple going to be
Right?
impacted by
Yes, there's a
this?
lot.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, you're
I
right.
think
Yeah,
that was the beginning of his mental decline because obviously by the end, like, he is so gone. Like, he has severe PTSD or
yeah,
something from this whole scenario. He's obsessed. It's like compulsive for him at that point. So I feel like this was kind of the beginning of that
yeah.
change in his mental state.
No, for sure. Yeah, nice. Well, Ash, let's continue on. Avner then meets with Louis in Paris or Paris. Okay, so this next couple sentences, you just got to bear with me, all right? You just got to you just got to we're just going through
I'm
it, all
there.
right? Then meets with Louis in Paris. He gives the team information on three Palestinians in Beirut, which is Mohammed Youssef Al Najir, Kamal Adwin, Kamal Nasir, and a Palestinian Liberation Organization (PLO) spokesperson. Afrim refuses to let them handle the mission themselves. Avni insists that he will lose Louis' trust if the operation is carried out by the IDF. Ephraim relents in allowing the team to occupy the IDF commandos. In Beirut, Steve, Robert, and Avner meet up with a group of Sarit Matkal IDF soldiers. They penetrate the Palestinians' guarded compound and kill all three. In that scene is brutal, by the way. Like that's really well shot of that scene. In Athens, Louis has provided the team with an apartment during the night. Four PLO members who have rented the same apartment as a safe house enter the dwelling. After a tense confrontation with the guns drawn, Robert diffuses the situation by claiming that the squad are members of the Basque separatist Esikadi ETA is what the abbreviation is. Red Army Faction, RAF, and the African National Congress, ANC. Avni discusses Middle East politics with the group's leader. I think this scene's really good in terms of that stairwell conversation scene is really intimate.
Oh, yeah.
Avner's group carries out their next assassination, that of Zaid Machasi, by installing a remote control bomb on his TV set. However, the bomb does not detonate. Hans walks into the hotel, forces his way in, and throws a grenade that sets off the bomb, killing Muschetti. The squad exchanges gunfire with Muschetti's bodyguards. In the chaos, they are forced to take the hotel manager hostage, and Robert reveals that he doesn't actually build bombs, but he defuses them, which is interesting. Louis provides the squad with information on Ali Hassan Salameh. Salameh is how they say it, right? The organizer of the Munich massacre. Avner learns from Louis that the CIA have a deal with Salameh wherein they protect and found him in exchange for his promise not to attack US diplomats. The squad moves to London to track down Salameh, but they are not able to accomplish the assassination when Avner is suddenly approached by several drunken Americans. It is implied that the said Americans were actually CIA agents. Avner is propositioned by a woman in a hotel but declines. Afterwards, Carl is killed by the same woman, who Avner learns is an independent Dutch contract killer. So anything to kind of add here? This is kind of like another round of the killings, specifically around the one that with the TV set, and also the botched assassination of Salome in the street, and as well as the woman that is definitely a murderer, like definitely a
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah, some of these scenes had me feeling like, what was the point of them? But then I guess in hindsight, like I get it. But even like the inclusion of the woman and some of like the scenes drawn out in the bar, I don't know, it just felt kind of point. Some of it just felt pointless, especially for how long the movie was. That's where I
Yep.
kind of felt like it got meandery. It was just kind of like, okay, what are we doing? But I do have to say, I do think that this film does well showing what happens when you kind of go on this like vengeance kind of rampage where it's like they keep talking about oh, somebody else is going to replace that person. And then somebody
Hmm.
else is going to replace that person. And you kill this one, then they have somebody else come. It's just like, where does it end?
Yeah.
You keep killing and it doesn't really have a solution. Like, what are we gaining from this? I think that that is showcased well. And I do think that that's an important theme to showcase in a situation like this. So that's one aspect I do think was done well. But otherwise, it kind of got, yeah, a little repetitive. I almost feel like they could have done with like showcasing some of these things happening like off screen. Some of the missions, like, just, like not
Yeah,
necessarily
if
showing
it
us.
just comes, you just see the aftermath of just them coming back and they're just retelling it.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that could
that'd
have
be a good
maybe
idea.
cut off some time and made it flow a little bit better because it really did have good momentum at some parts, but it just kept getting lost. And like that whole thing where he goes with Louis and his dad and meets his family and
Yeah, I
all
feel
of
like that
that,
was
it just
so unnecessary.
it got a little lost there. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I felt like he was like Avda was like making like connections with people. Maybe that was part of it, but it just all kind of felt like, what are we doing? I just felt like the movie had like three or four different things going on and it
Yeah.
didn't blend them all together very well. But I still liked a lot of the moments in this chunk. I just felt like it got a little bit more lost than the first like 45 minutes. But yeah, I was sad to see that Carl was killed so early because he was my favorite character.
He is so good. I love Kieran Hines. Yeah, I thought that was a really good. There's a couple of really good moments, especially for Avner. Like that hotel scene's I think really good. And when she's obviously trying to seduce him and wanting to kill him, but the scene where he calls his wife after she had the child, and the child's like this is it just goes to show how long they've been doing this, of like because they you can't really tell throughout the whole film of how long they're on this mission, and it seems like they're
Right.
there for years. Where the child says "Dada," and you just see Eric is
Yeah.
such a good actor. He's if you haven't seen Chopper, go watch Chopper. Chopper's like one of the best Australian films of all time. So I just noticed I don't have my light on. I'm just in the shadows. Bam, there you go.
Brighten up, Harry.
Yeah, Chopper's unbelievable. So just to showcase his acting prowess, but that's that his reaction to hearing his child say "Dada," and you could just tell that like I think that was kind of like what like to your point of like when the bomb under the bed scene of like that look on his face when he's about to turn off. He's like, "Is this all worth it?"
Hmm.
Of like he might die in this one section. Is like, is this all worth it? And like, of course, in his mind, he's loyal as hell, and it's a yes. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that sort of section is really good. But I agree with you. There's too much meat on this bone. Of like the scene with Louis and his father, that adds to me that for me that added nothing to this entire story.
Yeah. I kept wondering if they were really trying to get us to like understand context and like who Avda was, like maybe trying to just like
Maybe.
speak to his character and just really focus on him as the main character. So it was like
Mm,
all these extra things we're trying to add to that, like even all the scenes with his mom, and so it was just like I think they were trying to do that, but maybe it just didn't execute super well when you're placing that in the middle of a film with everything else that's going on.
yeah,
Is they
maybe.
was just it was almost like they were trying to do too much. Like even hearing about the budget and things like that and seeing some of like the big explosions that happened, it was a big production. They were obviously trying to do a lot. And I think the script and how the story was told got a little bit maybe
Like Lost.
put to the sideline because of that and ended up kind of suffering because of it.
Yep.
I appreciate that they were trying to do a lot, but yeah, it just didn't really come through the best for me during this chunk, or really for any of the rest of the movie. I feel like after the first like 50 minutes, I was
Yeah,
kind of
because you
like in
messaged
and
me. You're
out.
like, I'm half. I'm like, I'm in the first hour. I'm really liking this, and then like I saw your review on Letterboxd. I was like, oh, she didn't like the second half at all.
Maybe it was longer than I realized, but maybe it was like about an hour and 15 minutes in that it kind of started to.
I
It
was
was
like the
after the
same thing.
hotel
Yeah,
one where I kind of started to lose a bit of the momentum I had. So,
yeah. I think the movie's great until the end of the phone bomb scene. The phone bomb scene, I think, is the peak, and then it kind of
yeah,
goes downhill.
absolutely.
Anyway, I got one more little section. So Robert questions the morality of the entire mission. Avner listens to him and asks to take a break. The remaining squad tracks the Dutch assassin to the Netherlands and kills her without a glitch. That the way that they kill her is haunting. I find that those little tubes where they go boom and like it's like little
That's the
shots.
woman that
Yeah,
killed Carl.
yeah, it's the
Yeah,
Dutch
and I
assassin.
didn't like that whole thing. It was like they put a robe over her, and then he was like, "No, leave it."
Yeah, it was
I
like
don't know.
they wanted to like humiliate her,
I didn't like
because they
that.
killed she killed her friend, and he regrets it later on.
Yeah, he does.
Afterwards, Avner, Steve, and Hans discuss the futility. Basically, discuss the mission. Later, Hans is found stabbed to death and left on a park bench, while Robert is killed in an explosion in his workshop. Avner and Steve finally locate Sommelier in Spain. However, their assassination attempt is thwarted by Sommelier's guards. A disillusioned Avner flies to Israel and then to his new home in New York City to reunite with his wife and their child. In a fit of paranoia, he storms into the Israeli consulate and screams at an employee whom he believes is a Mossad agent, to leave him and his family alone. Ephraim comes to New York to urge Avner to rejoin Mossad. In the final scene, Avner openly questions the basis and effectiveness of the operation, and Ephraim admits that there is no evidence linking any of the targets to the Munich massacre, which is wild. In a show of respect, Avner asks Ephraim to break bread with him, but because he refused to return to Israel, Ephraim rejects him and leaves. Avner leaves as well. During the last scenes, the camera pans across the New York City skyline, and stops with the Twin Towers in the center of the screen. A postscript notes that 9 of the 11 men targeted by Mossad were eventually assassinated, including Sommelier in 1979. So that is Munich. Ash, what's your final thoughts on Munich? Give me a score.
Did you just say that 9 out of the 11?
Yeah.
And then they decided to show the Twin Towers,
Yeah.
and then 9/11. Yeah, that's okay. Just
It's
making sure.
literally, yeah. You get
Heard
this.
that all
You
right.
didn't miss a beat right there, Ash.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I did feel like because of all the like meandering they did in the middle of the movie, the end almost felt jumbled. It was like, okay, people are dead. Now he's going home. Now I don't know if any more time has passed. It wasn't really clear. It kind of felt a little bit like we just like jumped into something in the last 30
Yeah, the
minutes.
most unnecessary sex scene of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that that scene was honestly in really poor taste, and it just did not come off well at all. Like
Not at all.
him thinking about what was happening while that whole scene was awful. I
Yeah.
wish they just did not put that in there. I would have rather seen him have an emotional breakdown in any other way than that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I was supposed to take that scene. How does one?
No, it's
So
really,
yeah,
real. The camera angle of him is gross. It's
yeah.
gross.
But just the fact that he's like thinking about all of that while I don't know, the whole thing is
Yeah.
just pretty messed up. Not a fan of that scene at all. Not sure what we were doing there, but
That ain't it,
don't
Steve.
think it was necessary because there's no way that that information was available to know if that happened in real events. So I just don't feel like that was necessary. Like when you're making a movie about real events, out of all the things you could include, that one's definitely did not happen in real life. So
No.
yeah, not sure what they were doing. 2005 was a weird time for movies, I guess. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I thought that the final conversations with Ephraim were like interesting. I felt like it was kind of insane to think that, like, yeah, they didn't have actual like concrete evidence. And it's like, what was this all for?
Yeah,
Like he
exactly.
basically just became like a mass killer for what reason? And like we've been saying the whole time, like more people are just going to pop up in these people's places. So what was this all for? He missed his child's like birth and some of her early years and his wife just so that he can kind of be messed up mentally, which I guess is kind of goes to show like what happens when these kind of things go down. Like it really does like wreck people and lives are lost unnecessarily. So I guess in that sense, you know, they maybe showcased the themes that they were trying to put out with this film. Yeah, I think Eric Bana's great. I think really all 5 of the guys are great, but Eric Bana and what's his name again? Kieran
Kieran Hines.
Hines are probably the standout for me. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I watched it. I definitely enjoyed parts of the tension and what they were trying to do, but overall, just not really like a movie that's for me, and not something that I probably will ever watch again.
No, fair enough. Are you glad you
I gave
watched it
it
though?
3
Like
stars.
just to muck it off.
Yeah, no, I'm always like happy to check off a new movie, and I didn't like hate it by any means. I think there was definitely some good stuff they were trying to do.
Sure.
Just an interesting era for film, and yeah, just a kind of really intense subject matter. So when you kind of put that out there, like it's hard to make a movie like that and have it all work. So I think that they did some stuff that worked well, and just Story just got lost.
Yeah, no, I agreed. Yeah, I share all the same sentiments as you. I think there's just a couple of extra aspects that I think I enjoyed more than you. So I'm giving it 3.5. It's not like radically different, but there's a lot of the storytelling that I really liked. But then it just got too repetitive, too long in the tooth, and
Yeah.
it just didn't cement itself as something that is like going to be a cornerstone to like the legendary film parts of the filmography of Spielberg. So yeah,
Exactly.
3.5. That is the end of our Munich podcast. But before we go, classic draft again. We're going to do movies with cities in the title. And Ash, I spun a wheel, and I'm first.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. But so I can pick one. I was going to do 5 picks, I guess.
Sure.
Pick number one, I'm going to go with one of my favorite new watches of the last couple of years, which is Paris, Texas.
I had a feeling you were going to pick that.
I love Paris, Texas so much. It's an
I still need
unbelievable
to
movie.
watch it.
It's an unbelievable movie.
Yeah, that's a great first pick. I am sure I will love it once I finally get to check it off. I'm going to go with such a basic ass pick, but one of my favorite movies, and I'll take Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I was gonna take that and just because I knew that would be mean, but I didn't. 'Cause
Well,
I'm
now
not-
you're making me look bad after my first pick last episode. I see.
Oh, it just happens sometimes, you know. It just happens the way. I'm going to take. I'm going to take In Bruges. Martin McDonough's In Bruges.
Have not seen that either.
Fuck, you should watch In Bruges. Do you like?
It's been on my watch list forever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I next gonna say. Continue.
Okay. I've got a couple options here of like movies that I feel like I rate about the same that I equally love. But one that I feel like I've never drafted before would be, yeah, I'll take Train to Busan.
I like that. I like that. Now, the train.
Speaking of spooky season,
Oh, amen. Amen. Now, Inisherin is an Inisherin island. Will we count that as the Banshees of Inisherin?
I don't know. I don't know the geography there, so I can't tell you yes or no.
It's not
Is
a
it
city, but it's like
If it's not a city, then
it's everywhere where they live.
you don't need to take two of his movies with
I didn't
Colin
even
Farrell.
think about it though
You're gonna
until
be
I said
fine.
In Bruges. All right,
No double downing on directors.
no double down. I could take that, but that's so depressing. I'm gonna. Oh, I kind of want to take that. I better not. I'm gonna take. For, I'm gonna take Sleepless in Seattle.
Such a romantic.
Yeah, I love Sleepless in Seattle.
Nice. Gosh, I'm trying to have like a list that's, comprehensive of some different genres here. What do I want to do next? Maybe because we don't get to draft musicals very often, I will take Chicago,
Yep, nice.
which is definitely one of the better movie musicals. What a cast
Nice.
that is, too.
I'm gonna take American Werewolf in London.
Nice. I love that movie.
Great movie.
Okay. Let's see.
Great movie.
Only two more left.
I know.
I'm going to save these for the end because I know you haven't seen those. Well, just to mix it up a little bit, I could go with the classic Christmas pick, but I'm going to take something a little bit different. And I'm trying to also have a range of cities in different countries. I'm going to take Tokyo Godfathers. Have you seen that?
Yes,
I love that movie. I think it's a really interesting, like, wholesome Christmas movie.
that is a great movie. Do you know that Spirited Away is the name of a city? And don't fact check it. And
Okay.
okay, last pick. Maybe I take. Do you reckon American Werewolf in Paris is better than London? I think London's way better.
London's definitely
I'm going to take Manchester
the
by the
one.
Sea.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about Lucas Hedges though when I was thinking about child performances, but I was like, he's a little bit older. He's like a teenager, so I don't know if I want to count that. But I was thinking about that movie and
Great
him.
movie.
Okay, for my final pick, I'm going to take a movie I know you haven't seen by Jacques Demy, Young Girls of Rochefort. You should watch it. It's another musical. Oh
Girls.
shit, I took two musicals. Whoops,
Rochecore.
not mad at it. Rochefort is Rochefort.
Gotcha, Rochefort. Gotcha.
It's a city.
So Ash took Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Nice. The Train to Busan. Nice. Chicago. Nice. Tokyo Godfathers. Chicago Godfathers. And Young
Yeah.
Girls of Rochefort. I took Paris, Texas, in Bruges, Sleepless in Seattle, American Werewolf in London, and Manchester by the Sea. Manchester by the Sea is a tough watch. I don't think I can
Yeah.
ever rewatch that again.
I cried so much. It was
Imagine if we
brutal.
did 2 months of movies that make you cry. Of like
No,
how
I
like
can't handle it.
if we just did like a clip of what we were before and a clip of like the last episode, we would be different people.
No, I can't do it.
Fair enough.
Any honorable mentions?
I had a couple. I had L.A. Confidential, Escape from New York,
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, Shanghai Noon,
Fargo,
Fargo, definitely.
Detroit Rock City. Have you seen that?
No, Gangs in New
Oh,
York.
Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Damn, I didn't even think of that. I would have taken that.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yep. There's a
I also
lot.
had Orange County, that Jack Black comedy.
Oh yeah, fuck. There's definitely a lot, isn't there?
And Tombstone is technically a city as well. So that one
That's
technically
true.
counts.
Would you have taken that?
No, probably not. I mean, I like that movie a lot. Obviously, we just did it on the pod, but I try to mix it up when I do these drafts. I don't like to just pick the same stuff.
Chinatown, Casablanca,
Oh yeah, Casablanca. I forgot about
London Has Fallen. I fucked up.
that.
Oh,
Oh,
I
what a
would have
great
taken.
movie. You should watch the other movie that's the exact same called Olympus Has Fallen.
What about Angel Has Fallen as well? There's a trilogy. I love those movies. I will not be taking any notes. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Harry.
My favorite part of London Has Fallen is there's a good 40-minute period where he's waiting for backup, and then backup arrives so they can storm this building, and he goes, "Wait here, cover me, I'm going in." So he goes in alone anyway. I love that movie. It's a great movie. Next week, please watch Schindler's List so that we can finish off
That's a
the.
sentence.
I know. So we can finish off the Book of Spielberg and we go into a new topic the week after, which will be good fun. But until then, I'm Harry. It's Ash. Love death movies. See the movies.